The New York Liberty picked up their 29th win of the season on Sunday as they knocked off the Aces in Brooklyn 75-71. However, they do have major injury concern following this victory. So let's get into it and talk some Liberty hoops. We're going to do it with a writer for the local W and executive producer of 9450 Basketball Network. His name is Kevin Lewis, and he joins me now. Kevin, what's going on, man?
Everything's well, Dexter. How's everything going with you?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. Been enjoying the basketball. We're coming down the stretch of this WNBA season for the Liberty. So, Kevin, let's start with the takeaways from this game, because the Liberty faced an Aces squad who would come into this contest winners of 4 straight. However, in this one, no Aja Wilson on Sunday. The Liberty get up big in this game, then they blow the lead in the fourth quarter, but they held on and win. Now, they did sweep the season series from the Aces. So what are your major takeaways from this win, and also the Liberty winning all 3 games against Las Vegas this season?
Well, I think the biggest takeaway is the resiliency of the New York Liberty. Obviously, with that fourth quarter, there was a 19-2 run by the Las Vegas Aces going in about a minute left in the third quarter, all the way to about the 3-minute mark in the fourth quarter. But what you saw from the Liberty is the experience and getting the idea of making sure that they don't do what has been happening from a collapse standpoint in the previous year. So I think that resiliency and their keen ability to draw fouls that would kind of slow the game down. Obviously, when we last had our conversation, they ranked 9th in pace. So with that pace, slowing the game down, making sure that the Las Vegas Aces didn't get them into an opportunity to continue to run with them. I think slowing the game down really held them down, and also having a 8 offensive rebounding advantage really helped the Liberty out there as well. But I think it was more so of the extra year of experience that they have together and playing together and just closing out this win.
Yeah, you've seen with that extra year of experience you're talking about, returning the entire starting 5 this season, they just haven't panicked in these situations where things might go off or it gets a little tight in the fourth quarter. But we also have to talk about this. In the fourth quarter of Sunday's game, we saw a horrific collision where Benijah Laney Hamilton was chasing a rebound and hit the floor hard, immediately grabbing her right knee. She did walk off the floor with help, but she had just returned to the starting lineup on Thursday. This is the same knee that she had surgery on earlier this year. Still no word on her status, but how concerning is it, Kevin, for New York if they are going to be without Benijah again for some period of time?
Yes, absolutely. I think it is going to be a little bit concerning. The good thing about this year's New York Liberty team is that they can trust their depth. Leonie Febish has come in and stepped in greatly as a rookie, as well as Kennedy Burke and Niara Sabali as well. But the key focal point in the X factor for this New York Liberty team is indeed Benijah Laney. Her unique ability to guard maybe the 1 through 4, her unique ability to hit open shots, and her unique ability to actually get shots off of the dribble by herself is definitely needed for the New York Liberty. And this could be a major loss if this injury is more serious than what we've seen on today. So from the post-game press conference, Coach Sandy Brondello did mention that she was still with the doctors. So we don't know the exact diagnosis of what happened, but hopefully Benijah Laney Hamilton is feeling a little bit better, and hopefully this is something that is less concerning for the New York Liberty moving forward.
Yeah, hopefully she is able to return to the lineup and is in good health. Eventually, we'll have more word on that as we get more information. Okay, Liberty, they are on a 3-game winning streak. They've got 5 games left to go in the regular season. They have a home-and-home series with the Wings later this week, then another showdown with the team that's right behind them in the standings. That's the Lynx on Sunday. What will you be keeping your eyes on with the Liberty this week?
So obviously they have the back-to-back with the Dallas Wings, but my most important thing going into this week is the Minnesota Lynx. The Minnesota Lynx have been on a tear, and they've been on a tear even more since the Olympic break. I believe they're 9-1 or 10-1 since the Olympic break. But one thing that sticks out to me for this Minnesota Lynx team is, of course, the matchup nightmares that we've seen prior in this series, if you will, for the New York Liberty. Obviously, the very first game back in May, it was a complete blowout from the beginning to the end, and then we saw it again in the Commissioner's Cup. I know that the Liberty did pull out a win in Brooklyn one time this year, but we are looking at the matchup issues when it comes to the Liberty. They can match length for length. They can match defense for defense, and the Minnesota Lynx offensive ability in moving the ball well can cause problems for this New York Liberty team. So that's the biggest takeaway that I have coming into the next 3 games for the New York Liberty. But as I've said before, this is a different New York Liberty team that we've seen in the previous year. They have the experience. They have the ability to be resilient. And I think that with their length and their defensive abilities, I think they will be able to come in this week and potentially run the table, especially with that Minnesota Lynx checked off on the calendar.
Yeah, that's a big one coming up next Sunday, and we'll see if the Liberty are able to run the table and go 3-0 this week. Minnesota, as Kevin mentioned, has given them a tough time and does match up with them very well, so that's a very intriguing matchup coming up next Sunday at the Barclays Center. That is Kevin Lewis. He's a writer for the Local W. Check him out. Also executive producer of the 9450 Basketball Network. Check out his work there. Kevin, always a pleasure talking WNBA hoops and the Liberty. We will do it again soon, my friend.
Absolutely. Likewise. Always a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Anytime.